All right, it looks like we are live in the CloudSpot community. As always, we're just going to give people a few seconds to join, see that we're live. As you join us, though, let us know where you're watching from. I know we have people from all over the place, so we always like to see where people are from. I've got Hope Taylor. Are you still last name? Are we?
Yes, so great question. I've actually had a couple people ask me this. So I'm Hope Taylor Blow now, but for business purposes, I'm still going by Hope Taylor.
Hope Taylor. Okay.
Yes.
I meant to ask that before we started, and then I was like, wait.
It's totally fine. No, and the
Yeah.
joke is that the last name is Blow, and I've made fun of him for his last name since fourth grade, and now it's mine. So that's the karma that I get for making fun of his last name
Oh, that's
when we were
funny.
growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do not follow Hope, she actually just got married and went on the most amazing honeymoon and is back, has a new kitten, which I am like just dying over on Instagram. Um,
She's precious. She's so precious. Yeah, we're back to real life and we just hit the ground running. Yesterday was a month of marriage and we decided to get a new kid. So, just never a dull moment. But she's upstairs. I wish she was down here because I would introduce her. She's itsy bitsy. She like fits in one hand. She's the sweetest little baby.
oh my goodness. There's nothing better than like just any kind of fur baby cuddles.
I know, especially when they're brand new and just so tiny. It's so
Exactly.
sweet.
Yeah. So let us know if you're just joining. Let us know where you're watching from. We would love to know where everyone's from. And we're gonna get started in just a second. I'm trying to make sure it's pulling up in the CloudSpot community. We're talking about email marketing today. I am really excited to hear what you have to say because I know you're kind of the master at that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. It looks like we have a few people joining us. So today we are talking with Hope Taylor. She's a photographer, educator, business coach, and she has been in the business for 10 years. She started her business when she was 16 years old, which I still can't get over. Your story is amazing, how you got started that early. I love it. She now helps photographers grow their business, and she has an amazing YouTube channel full of content for photographers, along with online courses. And she's here today, like I said, to talk to us about email marketing. So, Hope, thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited about this. It's a topic that I have been passionate about for 4 or 5 years now, but I haven't really had the opportunity to teach and share on as much as I would like to because I think it's so valuable and almost this like hidden strategy that people aren't talking about enough. So I think this is going to be a great conversation.
I do too. So, for our members who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give the Cliff Notes version and I'm happy to answer questions at the end if anybody has them. But like you mentioned, I started my business when I was in high school. So I took a photojournalism class as a sophomore. And what started as just taking pictures for friends kind of snowballed into being my full-time job as a senior in high school. And then I went actually full-time with it as my career right after my senior year instead of going to college. And so now I've been a full-time business owner for 10 years, and I was primarily a photographer for those first 3 to 4 years and have spent the last 6 or 7 years transitioning into being primarily an educator where my business is really digital and kind of online based and a lot of passive revenue from online classes and email marketing that we're going to talk about today, and about 20% photography, 80% online business now. But I specialize in high school senior portraits, and it's been a wild ride, but I absolutely love it.
That's so exciting. I am just always impressed every time I hear you talk about your journey from high school to where you are now. It is amazing how far you've come in those 10 years. It blows my
Thank
mind.
you. That is so sweet of you to say. Thank you so much.
Of course. So let's start with the basics. Why should photographers have an email list?
Yeah, so this is the big question because I always, when I talk about this topic, recognize that we have 50,000 things going on in our business at any given moment. As photographers, we are trying to post on Instagram stories, make reels, post on Facebook, post on Pinterest. We're trying to blog. Maybe we're on Twitter. Maybe we're on Snapchat. We have so many different balls that we're juggling, and that doesn't even begin talking about actual client experience or shooting or editing or any of the things that automatically come with being a photographer. So when we're talking about adding in a brand new strategy like email marketing, it can feel like your initial gut reaction is just to tune it out because you don't even have the capacity to think about it. I know a lot of people that feel that way, and I felt that way for a very long time. I was at a place in my business where I was like, if I add one more singular thing, it's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And I am just too exhausted to even think about it. But I really believe that the power of email marketing is in the statistics. And I am not a statistics person. I am not a numbers person. But the biggest thing that made me kind of shift my mindset on email marketing was hearing a podcast where someone said, if Instagram were to disappear tomorrow, how would you reach your customers? How would you market your business? And really, what would you do? And I was in a position, this would have been in 2016, 2017, where this kind of shift began to happen. And I had a pretty healthy Instagram following. I had about 30, 40,000 followers. And it definitely was what I considered my main marketing platform. So when somebody said that, and I thought, okay, if somebody hacked into my account, or if Instagram were down, or if I had something to sell today and Instagram glitched and it didn't work, which happens sometimes, what would I do? Like, how would I talk to my people? And I realized that that was kind of a scary thought, and simultaneously realized that Instagram and Facebook and all of these platforms that we're using are very, very hard to automate. It's kind of running on this hamster wheel of always creating something new and hoping that people see it. But the statistics really back this up. Only 10% of your followers on Instagram are seeing your content right now on average. So sometimes it's even less than that. And so when you think about how hard we're all working to create new Instagram content just to hope that 10% of our followers are seeing it, that's exhausting to even think about. And email marketing is the number one driver of new leads for small businesses in 2023. It is, I love that you have your baby. She looks like our new kid.
I thought my office door was shut, but it's not.
She looks just like
He.
he looks just like our new baby. But it is statistically just insanely successful when you compare to Instagram. When you deliver an email to somebody's inbox, people on average check their email up to 10 times per day, sometimes more. And you don't even know if people are logging in on Instagram. And an average open rate for a successful email list is 30 to 40%. So if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram, only 100 of those people are probably going to see your post. But if you have 1,000 followers on an email list, you own those email addresses. Nobody can take them from you. There's no algorithm working against you. And on average, 300 to 400 people minimum are going to see that email. So just looking at those statistics, it gives you more of an opportunity to connect with your customers, more likelihood that they're going to see the content that you're creating, and you have ownership of their contact information. Nobody can take that away from you. And there's not an algorithm fighting you in hopes that their people will actually see what you're creating.
Definitely. I am all for doing anything to make fighting that algorithm easier.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Oh gosh, it can be so hard. Even, for my personal page for photography or for CloudSpot, it is a lot of work to get that content seen.
It is. It really is. And I think the biggest thing that I hear from photographers specifically when I talk about this is, okay, Hope, this is great for an educator, but I don't want to do education. How does an email list apply to me? And I just want to go ahead and debunk that from the beginning before anybody just clicks off this video and thinks it doesn't apply to them. I am an example of how to use email marketing as an educator, but I know so many people that use email marketing as a photographer and see so much success in not only booking clients, but also in making additional passive revenue in a way that maybe you haven't thought about before. And so email marketing still applies to you, even if you have no desire to ever do education. As a photographer, you can use email marketing to promote things like mini sessions, print and product sales, incentives, album sales. You can also just add value to your audience in a way that makes them more excited to work with you. But I'm sure we'll dive more into that as we chat. But just wanted to debunk the fact that photographers still can absolutely benefit and should be utilizing email marketing.
Yeah, and I think that is one part of email marketing that can seem so overwhelming is like, where do I even start? How does this apply to me? So where do you recommend that photographers start when they, dive into this journey?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say step one is to decide which email marketing platform is a good fit for you. That is what overwhelms a lot of people and keeps them from even starting in the first place, is that there are so many options for email marketing, similar to gallery delivery services. There are so many different choices, and it can be really stressful to decide which one is the best fit for your specific business. So I have two favorites that I typically recommend: Flowdesk or ConvertKit. I think they're both phenomenal options. So that's really step one, is just to set up your platform. But step two, and the more important step, and the one that people get caught up on, is actually starting by getting people on your email list. And I've actually was on a podcast interview this morning where we talked all about this, but a lot of people share about email marketing in a way that is really overcomplicated and seems harder than it is. It does not have to be hard or overwhelming or complicated or have like 50 different moving pieces that you're trying to manage. Email marketing, when you really boil it down, is adding value to your audience in a consistent way. That's really all email marketing is. So, with that in mind, the first question is, okay, well, how do I collect people's emails? If I set up an account on ConvertKit, like, what do I do next? And a lot of people have a place on their website that just says, sign up for my newsletter to be the first to hear about new announcements. And that's great. That's a great starting point if you are in that place right now that you have that on your website. But as we all know, with the number of spam and junk emails and just regular emails that we get every day, our email address is prime real estate. It is very valuable to us, and we are not going to just give it out just because. And if somebody is landing on your website and that's the first time they've ever interacted with your brand or your business, they don't really know who you are yet. So they don't know what they're signing up for when all it says is put your email here to be on my newsletter. They're like, what does that mean? Who even are you? What are you sending me? They're not going to be very likely to do that. But what I recommend is creating some piece of value that you exchange for your customer's email address. So that could be so many different things, right? That could be a checklist of the gear that you use at your sessions. It could be your shopping guide of best places to shop for senior sessions in 2024. It could be your favorite outfits for engagement sessions or a shopping guide for engagement sessions. It could be anything that your customers would find valuable. And you have something that pops up that says, download this free guide, and they enter their email to receive that guide directly to them. That is all it has to be. So that is an awesome place to start, is determining what you're going to give away in exchange for people's email addresses. And that, whatever that thing is that you give away, is called a lead magnet. So you want to decide what your lead magnet is going to be and put it together so that you can start promoting that and sharing about that lead magnet to get those email addresses and actually start building a list.
Yes, that when I'm a photographer as well, and when I started hearing about email marketing, the word lead magnet just tripped me up. This
Oh
was
yeah.
years and years ago, but I started to feel so stupid because I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So many words that we use with email marketing and just that make it so overwhelming. Um, but I like how you're putting it in simple terms for everyone to understand and telling us, how it really can help. Because even something simple like lead magnet, people are like, wait, what's that? Wait.
Oh, absolutely. When somebody said the term email list to me for the very first time,
Mhm.
I was like, you just mean like Hotmail, like the people that I have in my contacts? Like, what does that mean? And so I totally get that. There are so many terms that are brand new to you if you've never thought about email marketing. And they're terms that big box companies like Target and Walmart are using in their marketing strategies. So it's almost this like not secret strategy, but it's like this kind of like not spoken about strategy that a lot of successful businesses are using, but they're not talking about. And lead magnet is one of those terms that you hear and it almost feels like sterile and like corporate. And you're like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a photographer. Like, I don't even want to have to worry about what that means. But a lead magnet, all it is the value that you are giving in exchange for an email address. That is all lead magnet means.
Yes. So as we go through this, if you hear terms like that come up or if you have questions, feel free to drop questions
Please.
in the comments. We will come back to those at the very end. So we'll scroll back through them. If you don't want to lose your thought, drop it in the comments and we can address those at the end. But what do you think the biggest pain point for photographers? Oh my goodness, I need my coffee this morning, clearly.
You're fine.
What do you think the biggest pain point for photographers is when it comes to email marketing?
Yeah, so super easy for me because I hear this all the time. The biggest pain point that photographers have is trying to figure out how email marketing applies to them as a service-based business. Because I know a lot of people see how email marketing is being applied to a product-based business like mine, where I'm selling a course or a membership or a template. So that's a product-based business, right? So a lot of photographers are like, okay, but how does this apply to me if I am only working with people one time, like a bride? I'm only going to work with them once. And how does it apply when I'm a service based industry? And my answer to that is that there's so many ways that this can apply to photographers, but the kind of two options that are in the forefront of my mind that I always give as examples are option A is that you can add value to your photography clients and increase their likelihood of working with you. So let's go down that kind of path really quickly. So maybe your lead magnet or your free thing that you're giving away on your website in exchange for an email address is your shopping guide for engagement sessions. You have all of your favorite places to shop, all of your favorite pieces to photograph with links to everything in a guide. And they give you their email address and they download this guide. Then maybe once a week you email them with additional value, additional things that you can do to help them. Maybe it's another shopping guide for their wedding weekend or their bridal shower or their bachelorette, or maybe it's tips and tricks to prepare for an engagement session or how to determine if a photographer is a good fit for you. You're showing up in their inbox regularly, just adding value. But maybe in those emails, you're using Amazon affiliate links for the things that you're mentioning. So you're making a little bit of passive income just off of that lead magnet and off of these emails that you're sending to add value. And because you're consistently showing up, all of a sudden their likelihood of booking you bumps up really, really fast. They're seeing your name pop up. They're like, oh, this Hope girl is really helpful. She sent me so much helpful information. Like, this is amazing. They're way more likely to book you. But even after that, even if they don't book you as their photographer, you can still consistently show up in their inbox with value with things that have affiliate links and ways for you to make revenue off of just showing up and adding value. If you're a photographer that does more than weddings, this is also an opportunity for you to pitch them mini sessions or family sessions at the holidays or a senior session. You have them now. You have access to them now to sell them whatever makes sense for you and your business. Option two, which can happen at the same time in the same business, is you can automate the process of selling your prints and products. And this is so relevant to CloudSpot specifically because I use my online store through CloudSpot to do this. But what I do is I set up a sequence of emails. I type them one time. They're emails that are super, super valuable. So they're not just me saying, hey, buy a print, buy a canvas, buy an album. It's me saying, hey, here's how I have a gallery wall displayed in my own home. Here's a link to the frames that I use, happens to be an affiliate link, so I make a little bit of money. And here's how this could work in your home with your images, or a video tutorial of me walking them through how to use their gallery and navigate the store and make sure their prints are cropped correctly. And maybe I'm showing them how to design an album, but I'm showing up consistently and adding value while also letting them know that there's a time sensitive coupon code that they can use within a certain amount of time after their session. It's auto fulfilled, as we know, in our CloudSpot store. So I'm doing very little extra work. I've typed those emails ahead of time and they're automatically set up in a funnel in my email marketing system. So I just drop my client's email address in there and they go through that system and I make the sale and the revenue off of those prints and products.
That's absolutely amazing. And I like how it's so streamlined that it takes all of the stress away.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it is that what a lot of people don't realize is that email marketing is upfront work to type the emails and set it up, but then it runs on autopilot. It really does. You might have heard people talking about like making money in their sleep, which is, it sounds like a fairy tale made up unicorn thing that doesn't happen. But when you set up an automated system like this and you're just dumping people into the front end, if you're just feeding the machine, you're letting email marketing work for you from emails that you typed one time.
Mhm. So getting into emails, I know you have an email quiz that I want you to chat about a little bit because I went
Yeah.
through it and I think it is amazing. So I'm
Oh
going to
my
drop
gosh.
that in the chat while you kind of tell them a little bit about that and what that is.
Yeah, you're so sweet. So, we've put together a quiz that is actually really fun. It just asks a handful of questions about your business, who you are, what you do, who you serve. And as a result, based on your answers, we will send you a customized welcome email template that you can start using right away in your business. So, basically, this email template is designed, and I wrote them, based on who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And then you just customize a couple of little things and they're highlighted in red. You just type in your answers, kind of like those Mad Libs that we used to do as kids, fill it in, and then you can copy and paste it and use it as your welcome email to kick off your email marketing right now. And it's totally free. So that link is in the comments if anybody wants to take it. But it's really, really fun. We worked super hard on it to create all of these different customizable templates that are applicable to different industries and different businesses.
Yeah, and it was really helpful. I have kind of a nurture
Good.
sequence set up already for my business and I still went through it and it was very, very helpful. So,
Yay! Oh, that
yeah.
makes me so happy. And you also get to see a little bit more information about email marketing and some tips and tricks on what a welcome email is, why it's important, what should be in it. So it's not just the template, you get a little bit of content too. So it's definitely worth taking.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Thank
So, what
you.
are some? I know marketing trends change so often. What are
Yeah.
some email marketing trends that you're seeing this year, and how can our photographers implement those into their business?
Yeah, so 2 big ones come to mind. The first one is that I have seen email marketing emails become more and more simplified and stripped down in terms of the actual content in the emails, and that is great news for us, because it used to be that in email marketing, you would put lots of graphics and visuals and kind of different sections of content in all of your emails, almost like a newsletter or like a mini magazine is kind of what they felt like, but I've seen lately in probably the last 2 or 3 years, people are moving more in the direction of just keeping their emails as simple as possible with text and maybe a couple of photos or graphics, but it's not these crazy over the top designed colorful on brand emails. They look like a typical email that you or I would send back and forth with a client. And I think the reason for that is because of the second trend that I'm seeing. And that is that the digital marketing world is so fast paced right now. And it's because of TikTok and Reels and short form video really taking off in the world of social media marketing. Now, all of a sudden, our attention spans are this big. And so, if you don't get to the point of what you're trying to say in your email quickly, somebody's just going to delete it. They're going to click on it. They're going to be like, this is way too many words for me right now. And they're going to delete it because they just don't have the capacity or the attention span to read a 2,000 word email with all of these beautifully designed sections. They'd rather you just get straight to the point and deliver the value that you showed up to deliver in the first place. So I think short and sweet emails that are directly to the point are very, very on trend right now. And that's good news because it makes it a lot easier for us. But there's actually a statistic that said it used to be that in order for somebody to process something online, like see an ad and actually understand what the ad was, it took them an average of 7 times of seeing that ad to be like, oh, I'm actually going to go look at this dress now, or this boutique, or this offer. And now the statistic is actually it takes an average of 28 times of somebody seeing something in order to opt in or process that it even exists. And that's probably true for a lot of us. Like we are looking and shopping and we see a dress that we like and we end up not buying it, but then it pops up in the sidebar on Facebook, and then it's randomly in our Instagram feed, and then we see it on a story, and then maybe we see it on TikTok, and then we see it again on Facebook, and we're like, oh yeah, I meant to buy that. But think about how many times you're having to see that before you actually get to the point of like, oh yeah, I meant to buy that thing. So with that in mind, you want to get straight to the point in your content as quickly as possible. Really, this applies to all platforms, because if somebody has to see it 28 times in order to process it, they're not going to read 2,000 words of content 28 times, but they will read bullet points or see a quick graphic and be able to understand what your offer is and be more likely to buy it because of that.
Definitely. And I feel like Flowdesk especially has just makes it easy for you to get to the point because of
Absolutely.
all the different layouts that they have and they offer.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. Flowdesk is an awesome option, and it is so easy to use, which I think is great. ConvertKit has a little bit more like advanced from a technology perspective, but for a beginner, I actually think that Flowdesk is an incredible option. So we can even link both of those in the chat once we're off this call, but
Yeah.
I love both of them. I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. I know we already kind of touched on oh my goodness, lead magnets. There's something with that word today.
It feels like a Monday to me today. Like my brain is slow today, so you were completely fine. You're doing better than me.
Oh my gosh. I didn't have coffee this morning, so maybe that's it. But wow. Normally I can speak a lot better than this. We've already touched on lead magnets. In regards to that, though, I know when people start thinking like, what on earth can I offer? What are some ideas that come to mind for wedding family photographers that they could offer to, get that first opt-in?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, so many options here, which is the beauty of creating a lead magnet is you get to make one that is personalized to what your specific audience would find valuable. But a few things that come to mind, shopping guides are a big one because people, just like what I was just saying with how fast moving the digital marketing world is, people's time is so valuable to them that you taking the time to condense and consolidate all of these different places to shop or pieces to photograph or ways to coordinate family outfits, that is so valuable to somebody because now they don't have to spend hours Googling to find what's going to photograph well. So some form of a shopping or what to wear guide is an awesome option for any photographer. Tips and tricks for preparing for the shoot. So for families, that might look like getting your spouse excited for family photos, or how to get your kids excited for family photos, or what to do if your kids are not cooperating at your family session. Any tips or tricks? I know a friend of mine that has a lead magnet for moms specifically about how to make family photos a priority, even in like the crazy seasons of having a toddler, and talks about why that's so important. So another option would be something along the lines of how to print your images for your household. So tips and tricks on frames to buy, ways to display your images, tutorials for your favorite places to shop, to order prints and products. That's another great one. For seniors, hair and makeup tips and posing tips. I actually have a friend of mine that does a posing guide for how to pose better for your iPhone photos. So that's a great one. Outfits for graduation is a great one. There are so many different angles that your audience would find valuable just based off of your knowledge as a photographer. We have so much knowledge as photographers that we don't really even realize that we have, that people find valuable, like what's going to photograph well, even mobile presets and ways to make their iPhone images look better. We have so much knowledge that we don't even realize that we have that our audience would find valuable enough to give us their email.
Definitely. And as a family photographer and newborn photographer, just like in the Austin area, telling people about, what restaurants are kid friendly or what restaurants have playgrounds, what are the best splash pads, different things like that. Those are a few of mine that I have. But yeah, it's once you start thinking about those ideas, they'll start coming, and it's a lot less stressful than you think it is.
It really is. And I love your examples because they're based on a specific location. And for my photographers that work in a specific city and like don't want to travel outside of your city, that is also an awesome angle to take on these lead magnets. Like best places to eat, like you said, best places to shop in Savannah, best rooftop bars in Savannah, best places for engagement sessions in Savannah. All of those things that are specific to your location help you to be sure that people joining your email list are customers that you can sell to and work with because they're in your area or traveling to your area. So geographic specific lead magnets are super, super smart, Logan. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So I feel like we've touched on so much already.
Yeah, we have.
If y'all have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We can do a live Q&A and go over some of those. If you have questions and you're watching this after the fact, still drop it. We can try to connect with Hope and get answers for you. If we
I'm in the
can't.
group, so I'll watch myself too.
Yeah, but tell us, you have a webinar coming up as well. Can you tell us
Yes.
about that?
I do, and I'm so excited about it. It's brand new. It's my first time teaching this content in a webinar, and it is jam-packed. So it's happening on Monday, June 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern. But even if you can't be live, you can still get access to the replay. And we are going to be having a 1-hour class where I teach about email marketing even more in depth than we talked about today. So we're going to be talking about how to actually create that lead magnet from a technical perspective, a little bit more about selecting your platform, a little bit more about the statistics and the value of email marketing. And it's going to be amazing. We already have almost 700 business owners signed up from all over the globe. So completely free, no catch, brand new class. I'm so excited about it. I'd be so honored to have you guys join in.
That is awesome. Yeah, I dropped that in the comments. So we've got the email quiz in the comments, which I highly recommend taking. I've taken it. It's absolutely amazing. And then her webinar that's coming up as well. So
Awesome.
as we wrap up, if you have questions, again, drop them in the comments. I mean, Hope, every single time I talk to you, I feel like I learned something new. So I cannot thank you enough for joining us today to talk about something that can definitely be stressful.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Logan. This was so, so fun. I adore CloudSpot and the whole community. So I am always happy to be here. And this was a super fun conversation. I love this topic. So thanks for having me.
Of course. It looks like we have, let's see.
I see a question here.
It's going to cut part of it off, but it says, "Hi, Hope, you helped me get through my first senior shoot." And I did, and only had half a day to prep, and your videos guided me through some posing.
So sweet. That makes me so happy.
I love it. I already typed up 5 things to consider before hiring a photographer, but what do you recommend for formatting it to deliver to potential clients? I have never put anything like this together and have never created a PDF file.
Fantastic question. Canva is an awesome option for this. You can just search PDF and it will give you a template that's the right size, and you can create it. You can make it as pretty or as simple as you want. It's really up to you. And then you can download that as a PDF to deliver, or Canva will give you a view-only link that you can deliver if you want to deliver it as just a link for them to see. So you have lots of options with Canva, which is why I love it. So highly recommend trying Canva to actually design and create that PDF. But thank you for watching my senior videos too. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, and Canva it's so easy to use.
It's so easy. Yeah, and it's so powerful. Like there's so much you can do with it. So highly, highly recommend using Canva for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we use Canva for a lot of our graphics, and I use it for my photography business too. And it just, there's so many, if you want a graphic idea, all you have to do is search and it comes up with a million. You can switch the branding to your brand colors, and
amazing.
Yeah.
Really simplifies the whole process. So yeah, highly, highly recommend.
Yeah. I don't see any other comments coming in right now, but we can get to those after the live if you all still have questions. I know it's a lot of information to soak in. I always like when there's this much information, I always go back and rewatch them and take notes. I usually listen the first time and then take notes. So
perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much. And make sure you are following Hope on all of her social media channels. Her cat is adorable. Her kitten. Oh my gosh. I'll drop her Instagram link and website and all of that in the comments as well. So if you want to follow along, you can. But yeah, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Logan. And I'll check back this week to be sure I answer any questions that come in later. And I'll also pop in to link both Flowdesk and ConvertKit for those of you that want to maybe try those out. Perfect. All right. We'll see you guys later. Drop comments on if you have any questions. Yay, thanks guys. Have a good day.